Hi, this is Kristen Horton and Corinna Redford's Lovely Bones video exam. We are in Miss Silveri's 6th period class. I will be handling part 1 and Corinna will be handling part 2. For part 1, I decided to answer question number 2. In literary work, a minor character, often known as a foil, possesses traits that emphasize by contrast or comparison the distinctive characteristics and qualities of the main character. For example, the ideas or behavior of the minor character might be used to highlight the weakness or strength of the main character. Choose a novel or play in which a minor character serves as a foil to a main character. Then write an essay in which you analyze how the relation between the minor character and the major character eliminates the meaning of the work. Since we are reading The Lovely Bones, I decided to choose 2 characters from the novel that were foils. The 2 characters that I thought were foils in The Lovely Bones were Susie and Mr. Harvey. Susie was the main character, and Mr. Harvey served as the minor character, or secondary character. What interested me is that from the outside looking in, Susie and Mr. Harvey's personalities were quite similar. They both seemed like nice, carefree, fun-loving people, but their insides couldn't be any more different. Mr. Harvey was a heartless and godless man who preyed on innocent young women. He had no morals and no sense of right from wrong. Susie, on the other hand, was a loving and generous person who cared and understood the importance of family. She had dreams and goals for her life that she wanted to come to pass. Although her life was cut short, she couldn't live in hatred of the man who hurt her. She could only care for her family. Her only worry was making sure her family was okay. By bringing these 2 characters together, it ties together one of the themes, which is the weakness of children. Oftentimes, children are weak to strangers. Although Mr. Harvey was not necessarily a stranger to Susie, he was her neighbor. She was still weak to his kindness, and he ended up using that against her. He took advantage of her in the worst way possible. Because the novel took place in the 1970s and things like kidnapping and murdering children were not going on at the time, she didn't realize the different signs that Mr. Harvey might not be such a good man. This eliminates the larger meaning of the work, because it shows that even though Mr. Harvey did a terrible thing by murdering Susie and nearly tearing her family apart, it actually made them a stronger family in the end. And made all of Susie's relatives appreciate their lives and each other more. That was the most important lesson learned. Through tragedy came peace. It might have taken them a while to get there, but as long as they got it in the end, that was all that mattered. They had each other, and they were finally able to forgive and move on with their lives. That is why Susie was finally able to let go of her family and wish them a long and happy life. And she herself was able to live in peace in heaven. And even though she did forgive what Mr. Harvey had done to her, she didn't forget. And that's probably one of the main reasons why what happened to Mr. Harvey in the end with him getting killed happened. I guess what goes around comes around. And that's another one of the themes in the story. What Mr. Harvey did to Susie ended up coming back to him in the end. He had to learn that he couldn't keep taking advantage of young girls, that it would eventually be too much for him to handle. And eventually he would get caught. And even though he was never caught by the police for Susie's murder, I think they were able to find peace in the end. And those are the foils of The Lovely Bones. Corinna, it's your time to take over.